process of getting cast in a Ron Howard movie? Does he kind of just call you up and be like, hey man, you got the role?
Yeah, you're kind of bang on there, really. I read the script originally, and I obviously loved the script, and I expressed my excitement to my agents, and they told me that Ron wanted to Skype with me and talk to me, and I was really nervous about Skyping with him. But I remember just sitting in my room and waiting for him to call me, and as soon as he did, and as soon as he answered the phone, I was at ease, because he had his baseball cap on, big smile, and he's just a lovely guy. And I knew that we were going to get on with each other.
One of the things that struck me that he did while we were on set is, as he was coming over to talk to us, he stopped and he tapped an extra on the shoulder, just like a background player, and was like, great job in that scene.
Oh, really?
And I'll just kind of never forget
That's
that.
what Ron's like,
Yeah.
Ron does that, and it's not a show. He's not putting that on. That is genuinely what he is like.
Absolutely. What was your first impression of reading the script? Because there's so many different elements of the book in particular. Yeah. I'm not sure if you read the book too.
I did read the book, but after the script, I guess I was overwhelmed and kind of scared at the prospect of making a film of this size. I'd never been a part of something so big as this. Also, I guess, to play a character as brave and as strong as Thomas Nickerson was exciting, because I always like a challenge, and I almost feel like if it's not a challenge, then you shouldn't really do it, because you're not going to learn anything. So I was really excited to portray Thomas, and the script was awesome. It had everything in it that you look for in a film.
Are there any elements from the book about, his background and the whaling industry that you really kept in mind, even though it might not have been reflected on screen?
Yeah, I think this, the magnitude of what it is this whaling industry did for the world, they really were powering the world and lighting our streets. And Ron said earlier that crime dropped massively because they kept the lights up longer at night. And the fact that these heroic men, were doing that for the world is pretty amazing, and that's something that is really explored in the book.
And how about just the act of learning to become a whaler? I know you guys went to what was it, like a dock, or I forget the name of it, with a sea now.
We went to Portsmouth in the south of England, and we were there for about 3 days, and we just had to learn how to sail this ship, which was actually the ship that we filmed on. It was pretty special, because one of the amazing things about being an actor and working in movies is that you get to learn a new skill. And then when you do have to learn a new skill, they always get the best teachers, and you get the best advice and the best help. So we're very privileged as actors to be given that opportunity,
Are there any skills you learned that you can actually use now?
I'm always at the first to nominate myself if there's any sort of knot tying required. I remember a few of those. I was always like a master bowler knot tyer. But yeah, if you look in the background of the film, I tie thousands of bowler knots. Just because that was the one thing I knew I could do consistently without looking like an idiot.
That'd be a great featurette for this movie that I bet people would watch.
I think
Tom
it's like
Holland
a good
teach you how to tie a knot.
Yeah, it'd be like a good drinking game. Every time you see him do a bowler, everyone has to take a drink.
You're putting ideas in my head, man.
Yeah.
And now, of course, I have to ask about the diet. If you had to make an In the Heart of the Sea cookbook, what would be on it? Because actually, during the press conference, Ron described a cracker with a cucumber and an almond on it. I'm like, that's something I can make.
That's the best question I've been asked throughout this whole junket. Thank you for that. It would be the shortest cookbook ever, because nothing was really cooked. It was just leaves, salad, sometimes a bit of chicken, porridge, quinoa, too much quinoa. Just I almost get angry when I see quinoa now. I almost want to lose my mind. A boiled egg every now and then. We had one of the actors, Gary Beadle, used to sort of peel his boiled egg way faster than everyone else did. So you'd be there peeling it, really sad, looking at this glowing egg, and he'd be there already eating it. And one day I got so frustrated, I asked him, I was like, how do you do that? Next day he's like, watch this. And he cracks the bottom, makes a little hole, cracks the top, makes a bigger hole. And he says if you just blow through the top, the egg kind of pops out. So you don't have to go through that painful process of peeling it. And he goes, watch this. And he went, and he like fired his egg over the edge of the boat, and it was gone. And this man was like, it looked like he just like lost his child. And obviously I was starving. He sort of looked at me with my egg. I was like, I gave him mine. But no, it was dreadful. Poor old beetle.
That's the saddest thing. Did they think about you guys when they were setting up like craft service in the lunch section, or do you guys just have to watch like crew piling food on their plates?
Yeah, Ron was actually pretty strong on the fact that he didn't want the crew to eat in front of us. But when you're on a little boat, it's quite hard for that not to happen. And the worst thing was watching like a crew member eat half of a burger and throw the rest of it away, and you're like, oh man, dude, you have no idea what I would do for that burger right now, and you're throwing half of it away. But no, the crew were very supportive and really good people.
And how about the hardtack? What actually is the process of eating hardtack? You have to get it wet first?
Yeah,
before you
no,
can actually eat it?
hardtack, we ate it very differently in the film. Basically, it's too difficult. You couldn't break it. It's really rock solid. So basically, what they would do is they would scrape off a tiny amount on with a knife, and then you put it in your cup of water, and then you just drink your cup of water, and that's kind of what they survived off. But we had sort of like this gingerbread stuff, which was amazing, because we were obviously on this diet, and the hardtack wasn't part of our diet, and we were having to eat it for the scene, and we were like, can we just do another take, Ron? Just one more. I feel like we need to do one more, because it was just so tasty. And I was lucky because I was the first actor to pick my piece of hardtack from the tub, so I would always pick the biggest piece, and I'd like turn around, and all of them would be like, "Oh, you bastard, stealing from us!" Yeah, but no, it was good fun.
Tragedy of the Essex is the story of men. A demon